morning, dear hearts. All right, we're on lesson 152 today, and if I feel a little or seem a little excited, it's because this is really a favorite lesson. It is not a giant stride as far as the course is concerned, but it was a giant stride for me, or a giant awareness for me, maybe about 13 years ago when I came across it in my yearly practice of the course and the lessons, because it really shifted me out of a space that my mind was in then. And so please subscribe before I forget, because I'm about to. So it's not a giant stride, it is a big favorite. And it's also, for very many people, a difficult lesson because it is so pointed. It is so true, but it, especially in the first paragraph, which I am going to read, it doesn't give wiggle room to us. It tells it like it is. And it says, no one can suffer loss unless it be his own decision. Don't like that one. No one suffers pain except his choice. Except his choice elects this state for him. No one can grieve nor fear nor think him sick unless these are the outcomes that he wants. And no one dies without his own consent. Nothing occurs but represents your wish, and nothing is omitted that you choose. Here is your world, complete in all details. Here is the whole reality for you, and it is only here salvation is. Now that last line, is only here salvation is. It is only in the awareness of where salvation lies, where my atonement, at one-ment is. If I accept this, if I accept these ideas, and they're true, it's totally and completely true. And it isn't the first time that we've had this information in many ways, and one of which is in the text, which is a prayer in chapter 21 that tells me that I'm responsible. So this is a very practical retelling or rewording of that prayer in chapter 1 of, I call it the responsibility prayer. It's up to me. It's totally and completely up to me. I get to own it. I get to own my life. The power of decision of what I want to experience is my own. None of this has been forced upon me. As again, I say, no one is dragged kicking and screaming into enlightenment. This is my perfect and complete choice to make. Another part of this lesson, and it's repetitive, we've had it before in lessons, we've had it in the text, that truth is true and nothing else is true. It's a syllogism, and in a syllogism, both the first part and the second part of the statement must be true. If they are not, then it is contradictory. So it says that for what is true as well as what is true, then, okay, let me start over. For what is not true is true. For if, I am not doing this well. For if what is not true, wow, my eyes aren't working today, or my mouth, is true as well as what is true, then part of truth is false, and truth has lost its meaning. Nothing but the truth is true, and what is false is false. There it is. There it is. It's either true or it's false. It cannot be both. And we get to, again, make that decision. I'm going to have help in a minute. Isabella has something to say, I think. So this lesson is, as I said, it's very pointed. It tells us, that look at this world, and look at this world that, is sinful and is filled with sin and guilt, and people are afraid, and there's suffering, and there's lonely. All of this world, but all of those things are ephemeral. They will not last. But God did not make that world. And we can go back to lesson 14, that God did not make a meaningless world. God does not create anything that is meaningless. God makes nothing. God only creates. So this world as we see it, as we experience it, with all of the pain, the suffering, the madness, the chaos, that is not what God created. And then it asks the question, can you see what God created not? Because it's an illusion. Anything that was not created by God is an illusion, and it has no substance. We've said this so many times. There's no foundation to it. It is ephemeral. It is smoke and mirrors. It is only temporary. And God only creates from this space of eternalness. And we are eternal, and we are changeless. And this lesson tells us to take our rightful place as co-creator of the universe, and that is not arrogant. To think that I made this other world is arrogant, but to take my place is humble next to God, because I'm not the one that is in charge. I'm just simply his co-creator. So I stay in that space of humbleness, because truth is humble in acknowledging its mightiness, its changelessness, and its eternal wholeness, all encompassing God's perfect gift to his beloved Son. This is where we are. We accept in true humility the truth of who we are. And in accepting that, that is my salvation, because that is also me accepting the truth of my brother as well. Remember, the salvation, the atonement, the forgiveness, all of this comes together, because it cannot be experienced alone. It is only in the joining of our minds that I will have this recognition of my true self and yours. The practicing for today is 5 minutes in the morning and the evening, and of course hourly. And as we go into the practice, we say, the power of decision is my own. This day I will accept myself as what my Father's will created me to be. Okay, it is who we are meant to be. And then in the final paragraph, it says, God's voice will answer. So when we go into these spaces of our practicing and we ask for the invitation to our big S self to come to us and tell us what it is we need to know, to answer all of our questions, we're told God's voice will answer, for he speaks for you and for your Father. So this is just bringing in together that all things are echoes for the voice for God. Yesterday's lesson, again, we weave this tapestry of spirituality, of oneness, of truth, and we have the power to make the decision to do that. So that's it for today. Sorry about my stumbling, eyes and mouth, but you know, this is real. Anyway, so please like, please share, please subscribe, please comment, please pray, please be here tomorrow. Please be steadfast in your commitment to these lessons and to yourself. Namaste.